first telepathic experience was when I was 5.
Wow, that's young.
Very young. And and at the age of 5, nobody teaches you telepathy.
Yeah.
So what happened, I was just there. Actually, it was Christmas Eve. I remember very well. And all of a sudden, I sensed this kind of presence.
Okay, guys, part 2 with Caroline Cory. We went pretty viral that first time. Thanks for coming back.
I know. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that alien clip was interesting to see the comments, right?
Yeah, it's amazing. That tells you what people are looking for.
Yeah.
What they want to talk about, what they want to know about.
It seems like there's a lot of alien talk lately.
Yes,
You know,
yes.
UFOs and drones.
Yes, with these crazy drones, swarms of drones. And of course, people who want to think alien are thinking aliens, but it's not alien.
You don't think so?
Come on. Do you think that they're going to, if it's alien technology, they're going to have these sort of drones, made in China drones? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, the drones, it's all military.
I feel that.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah.
A little bit? So, yeah, I think it's more of a PSYOP thing, because think about it. If it is some sort of, threat, they would have shut it down. Why aren't they shooting it down? Is because they know what they're doing. And what are they doing? I think it's, some people are saying they're spraying things, some sort of powder, some sort of nanoparticles. But also it's to collect data, because drones can basically read information, any sort of information, collect data. And I was actually listening to this guy who's an expert in drones, and what he was saying is that this type of drone is actually made in China. And what happens is when you have to update the drone, you basically reconnect to like the hub, which is all pretty much Chinese. And so I'm wondering if there's some sort of way that they're using these drones for spying.
Wow.
I don't know. That's my theory.
I could see it. I mean, there's a bunch of satellites everywhere, so I don't know if they need to spy any more than they are, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Spying, maybe in a different way, but I think it's like the fact that everybody can see them. I mean, like they're swarming right above your house.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's some sort of agenda. Maybe some legislation is going to come out like, hey, you can't fly your drones anywhere, because they were flying over restricted and non-restricted fly zone.
Yep.
So this means that, why isn't the military shooting them down? So that's why there's some sort of military psyop, I think.
Well, Project Bluebeam, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see. They're saying something at the end of January. We're going to know more.
Really?
But like I said, some people have filmed literally some sort of nanoparticles coming out of them.
Whoa.
So yeah, just don't breathe.
Yeah. Those microscopes, have you ever seen those videos of those high-powered microscopes?
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know, that's a theory. I don't want to go into conspiracy theory, but they're saying there's some sort of vaccine-like thing they're absorbing to pass them on from person to person. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I mean, they're already proving
pass them on from person to exactly. So you never know.
Yeah.
But regardless, I think there's this fear factor. They create some crazy story. Everybody's wondering, what is that? Smoke coming out of it, some weird stuff coming out of it. What is happening? And then from that fear, you want I'm talking about the general public.
Yep.
They're going to want to know from the government what to do.
Yeah.
So if they come up with some sort of, hey, we're going to have drones everywhere, but now it's for your protection, we're going to go for it.
Yeah, a lot of fear-based programming every day being put into people's minds, right?
Exactly.
I think politics is definitely a big one.
For sure. I try to stay away from politics, but at the same time, like, you can't help it.
These days it's, unavoidable with RFK trying to step in there.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
I'm excited because I've never seen two parties kind of mingle like that.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I mean, if he's able to, do actually, help with healthcare and with education, and I think intelligence as well, I mean, that's like huge. You know, we really need that.
I'm glad he's been exposing fluoride, because when I first started the show, if starting the new year off with a fast feels a little daunting, you're not alone. Shout out to today's sponsor, Prolon. They're an entire community of individuals that want you to make meaningful differences in health. And it makes fasting so powerful because you have a group of people around you. I'm joining their January Fasting Challenge, which is a coach-led program to set you up for fasting success. It's a 5-day program. It's filled with snacks, soups, and beverages that are designed to keep your body in a fasting state with no guesswork or planning required. Got the boxes laid out right here so you guys can check it out. It's also great for so many things. It enhances your skin, it enhances fat loss, and it improves your energy. All their meals are prepackaged, like I said, no guesswork, and it's perfect for after the holiday season where you stocked up on a lot of heavy meals. If you're ready to make 2025 your healthiest year yet, you can order your Prolon 5-day kit at prolon.com/DSH and join in on their fasting challenge today. New groups start every Sunday in January. Plus, Prolon is offering Digital Social Hour listeners 15% off their 5-day program when you go to prolon.com/DSH. That's prolon.com/DSH. To get censored so bad whenever I talked about it.
Really?
Yeah, like YouTube would take the video down.
Yeah.
And now at least I could talk about fluoride.
Right. And everything's being exposed right now, you know, with the pharmaceutical, the vaccine, and the Fauci and the agenda. So it's like you can't hide anymore.
Yeah.
To me, this is 2025 is kind of like the year of truth, where all that stuff we thought was conspiracy or speculation, it's all in our face, you know, and there's real data, you know, there's real, like people are actually saying, here's the data, or actually admitting to this or that. So we can't go back.
Absolutely.
And then, so yeah, it's very exciting.
What do you think the future of medicine and healing is?
Energy medicine, frequency-based medicine. In fact, I don't know if did you see my movie Superhuman?
No, I need to watch it.
You have to.
Yeah, is it on Netflix?
It's right now. It's on Amazon and Tubi, and I don't know.
I'll watch it this week.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I mentioned it is it was very, very popular because what I've done in this film, you know how people tell you your mind creates, you know, your state of mind, you know, is what stresses you out, or you have to think positive and all that stuff because it has an actual physiological effect on your body. So what I was able to do in the film is to do experiments under scientific laboratory conditions, you know, with, what do you call these?
Mice?
No. With people. But we take a baseline. This is how it works. So we measure something over a period of time, and we call that a baseline. And then we, for example, let's say we're trying to change the water pH. So you focus on the water once you've measured it before. Let's say it was at 6.5. And then as you're focusing on it and you're intending for it to change, you literally can see the pH change.
Wow.
It's insane. So we've done that under laboratory conditions over and over and over. So these sorts of experiments prove that it's not random, you see. When you are able to do the experiment several times over a period of time with different people, different, you know what I mean? So you come to actual scientific conditions. So I did that in Superhuman 1. So now I'm working on Superhuman 2. Very, very exciting because part of the film, I investigated what we call frequency-based technology, frequency-based healing devices. And I'm very skeptical, actually. You know, a lot of people think, oh, she does healing or energy medicine. So no, I'm very skeptical because I am very sensitive myself. I can sense if something, you know, is kosher, if it's real or not. And so I looked into multiple technologies, and I've found quite a few that work really, really well.
Wow.
They basically use sound waves or light waves to transfer information. they basically use sound waves or light waves to transfer information from one point into your body. So from a device into your body. And so like, let's say you have a virus. So there's like, for example, 8,000 data point of what the virus frequency could be. And when you match it with the healing frequency for that virus, through a sound wave, it basically neutralizes it. So everything has a frequency. Everything is energy. Einstein said all existence is energy. And so a virus has a frequency. My voice has a frequency. My body has a frequency. My organs have a frequency. And so if you are able to tap into these frequencies and measure them, then you literally have data points for everything, for a cancer cell, for a diabetic cell, for any sort of illness or imbalance in your body. And so the idea is you also can heal it through frequency. This is one of the devices that I've investigated, for example. It's super cool. Of course, there's all kinds of other things, but this one is one of my favorite because it's basically a watch. It looks like a watch, but do you see the light here?
Yeah, is that red light?
It's red light. And so what happens is that there are all sorts of frequencies programmed in here. A frequency for virus, for bacteria, for Lyme, and it's not just one, it's a range. I mean, these people have been doing so much work, years of study and research on the different kinds of viruses, different kinds of bacteria. I mean, thousands and thousands of data points. Okay, so anyway, going back to this watch. So this watch has, for example, different types of frequencies. It has a frequency for virus, for bacteria, for Lyme, for anything, but not just physical things, emotional things or mental things. For example, I have here abundance. I have here inner peace and calm, anxiety, chemistry balancing. So it's pretty much everything. All aspects of life have a frequency. And so I think this is really the future of healing, of healthcare, because you're basically repairing the frequency of the imbalance with frequency. Cannot be more natural than that.
Yeah.
And the way it gets transferred, like I said, in this case, is through light, the red light. So you basically just put it on your wrist, and you put the program you want. Here you can see the different programs. Do you want to take a look?
Yeah, this is fascinating. Have you actually noticed a difference?
Totally.
Wow.
Totally.
Higher guidance, love, gratitude, mental clarity.
So what happens is that this is kind of
peace.
a white label. So it's called the Superhuman Watch. The Superhuman Watch has all the frequencies that I use. For example, to shift, I have a whole series for mental health, for example.
Yeah.
If you have panic attacks or anxiety or depression, or any sort of mental imbalance or physical imbalance. There's one for pain, for example.
Yeah, that's cool.
So not everybody's gonna like do a meditation and read books and things like that. So this allows you to just put it on your wrist and allow the frequency to go in your body and just shift.
That's so cool.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I had a guest give me this. She encoded it with energy as well, this wristband. So
yeah, that's encoded through consciousness, but there's not a medium. Light is a medium to transfer information. And so that's why red light is basically this particular light. Sometimes you use infrared. It depends on the particular frequency. This is obviously a specific frequency that allows the information to be transferred from the watch into your body. So it's kind of cool. You're just sitting there and all of a sudden everything is shifting and you're feeling amazing.
yeah, it's so simple too. I like how it's natural and holistic.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm all about holistic these days.
Exactly. So that's why, so this one, like I said, it's a white label and it's called the Superhuman Watch. And people can just like download the frequencies that they need. It's super cool.
I need to get one of those.
Oh, I'll get you one.
Please. My dog has Lyme disease.
Well, so the company that started this started because of Lyme. I think the son of the owner had Lyme disease and nobody could help him. And they tried, Oriental medicine, homeopathy, all sorts of traditional and non-traditional healing methods, and nothing was working. And they came across this sort of technology and they tried it. And then they got like so much better.
Wow.
Then they tested it on so many people who had Lyme and people were healing right and left.
That's incredible.
Yes. You should get that one.
Yeah, I need to. My poor dog, Mila, he's had Lyme disease for years.
Yeah, and it has to work with dogs because it's the same thing. Humans are... So I'll get you one.
Please.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll link it below as well if people watching this. Can people buy it yet or no?
Yeah, it's superhumanwatch.com.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
What else you been working on?
So that's for that. I'm also working on a sequel of my Alien movie. It's not actually Alien, it's UFOs. So I'm halfway through that one. And another film on mental health.
Nice.
I've been working in the energy medicine, the healing space for a very long time, maybe 15, 20 years. And I've come across so many people with so many different problems, right? And it always goes back to some sort of trauma, some sort of something that triggered you as a child that stays with you as an adult and creates all sorts of mental health issues. I mean, pretty much everyone goes back to a trauma when you're 5, 6, or, sometimes even younger, where you were physically abused, sexually abused, or emotionally abused. And these traumas stay with you. And now, just to give you some idea, we've been researching teenage suicide. There is one teenage suicide every 100 minutes.
Wow.
That's crazy. When you look around with the school shootings and the madness that happens as a teenager, it's very, very scary that you have these teenagers literally take their lives. And as adults, you have over 56 million adults in America who have some sort of severe mental health issue.
Wow, that's like 1/6 of people.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And the most common would be anxiety. Do you have anxiety?
I used to bad. I have it a little bit now, but it's much better. Before it was crippling.
Crippling,
yeah,
exactly.
I couldn't even go places.
Exactly. So many people get over it like you. A lot of it live with it. A lot of people live with it. Depression is the second one. Of course, panic attacks comes with, anxiety, PTSD, huge, OCD, bipolar. But I think the two main ones, the most common ones, are major anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
So I think all of our problems come from that. When we have anxiety, we're in fear, we're confused, we make the wrong decisions. If there's some sort of psyop happening, some sort of, virus or so whatever is happening in the world, a war, you start to have these horrible anxieties. And if you don't know how to cope with anxiety, how to address the anxiety, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to make the wrong decision.
Right.
And that's so I felt that we needed to address that. There's a film coming out that people can look for. And if people go to the website omniummedia.com, they'll see all my upcoming films.
Nice.
So one is on mental health, and a series also on mental health, and a workshop. So
something actionable. Yeah, that's needed because right now they tell you have anxiety and then they give you a pill.
Right. And the pills, most of them are addictive, which is a huge problem. And it's been proven, and so many times that when you get off the pill, this is usually when your brain freaks out and you commit suicide.
Wow.
Because the brain got so used to getting some sort of treatment, to be tamed, so to speak, and all of a sudden you take that away, and the brain just freaks out. It doesn't know how to manage itself. Doesn't know what's real anymore. And so that's why pharmaceuticals are very, very dangerous in the case of mental health. Yeah,
that's scary. You probably know a lot about the brain. Is it possible to raise your intelligence levels?
Yes. Of course, your intelligence level. I mean, you mean your emotional intelligence?
Well, emotional too, but specifically IQ. People have previously thought you're kind of born with the same IQ and you can't raise it, right?
Well, I don't agree, and I don't know about just the IQ. To me, the human potential is a lot more than just IQ.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about computing or calculations and things like that. To me, the human brain is part of your cosmic brain, your divine brain. Which is the consciousness. So you are consciousness. And then that consciousness is inside your brain. It creates your brain and your physical body, right?
Yeah.
So your human brain is just kind of the connector to the human body to be able to communicate. So right now we're using the cognitive part of the brain, the frontal lobe, temporal lobe, to speak, uses, English language to communicate. But I am also tapping into my larger brain, so to speak, my consciousness, to bring that information through. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not just speaking, I'm not repeating from something that somebody told me, and that's it.
You're getting the thought from...
Exactly.
Your subconscious, right?
Exactly. So it's more the superconscious. So the more you expand your consciousness, the more you're able to bring higher thoughts, higher information, more relevant information, better guidance, more clarity. The more you just stay local, so to speak, the more you keep just using your local brain to process information and resolve problems, the more you stay in the problems.
Right, because some people are so closed off, they're stubborn. No matter what you tell them, you could present them evidence and studies, and they still won't listen to you.
Exactly. So that's why, the human brain is not what creates. It's your consciousness that creates your reality through your human brain. So when you say, do we have the potential is infinite. The potential is infinite because your consciousness is infinite. There's no boundary. I want to tell you something also. Have you heard of scalar waves?
Yes, I've done it actually.
Okay. So there is a German scientist, his name is Konstantin Meil, and he demonstrated that the human DNA is like a receptor. It has the ability to transmit information using scalar waves across the entire universe. Because for those who know what scalar waves are, it goes through physical object. There's nothing can stop scalar waves. So when you have a thought, he was able to demonstrate that. That's insane. People can look that up. So when you have a thought, it has the potential to traverse the entire universe and back.
Wow.
Is that insane or what? Faster than the speed of light, because it's not going, through the normal linear waves. And so when you think about that potential, it's so much more exciting of all the things that you can do. This means that you can bring information from any part of the universe instantaneously, translate it into your human brain, and create what you want. That's, to me, the ultimate future human.
Yeah. It's almost like teleportation with your thoughts, right?
Exactly.
Wow. That's exciting. Yeah. Scalar energy is so interesting to me, how it's been kind of suppressed over history.
Exactly.
It's so powerful.
Well, because it has to do with energy transfer, not just energy in terms of your mind, but energy, free energy. That's how it works.
Nikola Tesla.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was ahead of his time.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why this is very, very exciting when you have scientists looking into it. That brings us back to what you were asking, the potential of the human mind, which is infinite.
Yeah. So we can all be Einstein.
Actually, even more. Like I said, Einstein was of course a genius in his own way, or Tesla for that matter, about figuring out the mechanics of reality. Basically, I mean that's what science is, to try to explain how things work.
Right.
You know, how does this work? You know, but I think again going back to the future human, that's why I made the film Superhuman. It's even bigger than that, is the ability to expand your consciousness, like I said, because your consciousness is already there. It's already in the universe. You don't have to like kind of, do anything.
Right.
Just the idea or the ability of being able to tap into it and bring it back through the human brain. The more you do that, now you're going to be able to tap into, for example, if I go to China, for example, I don't know Chinese. I've never learned Chinese or whatever. But using this sort of ability, without learning the language, you tap into the frequency behind the words and you're able to understand what they're saying.
What?
Well, maybe not word per word. I spoke over you, sorry.
No, that's fascinating.
Maybe not word for word, but basically the gist of it,
Yeah, that's super useful. I need to look into that.
Exactly. So not just languages, but I mean, that's how energy medicine works. That's how psychic abilities work. It's nothing to do with psychic. You're just tapping into frequency, going back to frequency. Because consciousness is pure energy. So we can do a little experiment. Do you want to?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is demonstrate to you that everything has frequency. Everything has a form of energy and is frequency before anything. So I have information on these two pieces of paper, right? So I'm going to do muscle testing.
Okay.
And so can we just show your hand? Give me your hand. Okay. Yeah. So I want you to hold this in your hand and resist. I'm going to push and you're going to resist, right?
Yeah.
Resist. Okay, I can't push it down. You're pretty strong. Resist. Okay, you're pretty strong. Let me see this one. Okay. Now you don't know what it is, right?
No.
Resist. Are you resisting?
Yeah.
Resist.
Holy crap.
Are you resisting?
Yeah.
Open the paper.
What the heck? Love. What was the other one?
Should be the opposite, actually.
Other one was hate. So am I hateful?
No. It was the opposite. How weird is that? Okay, we're not going to show this. Let's do it again.
No, I get the concept though. I've done that test with iPhone.
Yeah. But why did it come out this way?
I don't know. So this one.
Hold on.
Should I hold this one?
Yeah.
I still don't know what they are.
We don't know which one are. That's so weird. This never happened. I wonder if we're like doing it because we're okay.
I'm kind of fully extended too.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's actually like we're not supposed to do it this way.
Yeah,
but,
my arm's like all the way out.
Yeah. Okay, so try to. Okay, let's see. Okay, resist. Resist. Okay, let's see this one.
Let's see if it happens
too
again.
Funny. Resist. Okay, this one is stronger, right?
This one's stronger.
Right?
Let's see if it's hate. This one's love.
Okay, love.
That's funny.
So
it might have been because I was like fully leaned over. I'm not
you
sure.
weren't straight.
Yeah, but I've done that test before with iPhones.
Right.
And it always goes down.
Yeah,
the EMF.
exactly. So what this means is that you didn't know what was on a piece of paper.
No, I didn't know.
This means that the words had a frequency that your consciousness picked up without you knowing, without your human brain actually reading it or knowing what it is. So this is proof that your consciousness is the one that's tapping into the frequency of information.
Right.
I think it's very powerful.
Yeah. No, it's a powerful exercise. People at home can try it with like unhealthy food.
Exactly.
Right. They hold it in a hand and resist.
But we should have done it like more
closer together. Yeah.
You can show the one that.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. But this is an important concept, because if your consciousness is tapping into frequencies before the human brain picks it up, it means that you can pick up. That's probably what intuition is. You could probably pick up information remotely. You could communicate telepathically. You see, the potential is great.
Yeah. Why do some people have really good intuition? And I feel like females usually have pretty good intuition, right?
Yeah, I think they're open to the idea that this is possible. So as children, we are taught that it's okay to be sensitive and to kind of guess or sense what, certain things about a certain person. So you grow up thinking that it's okay, and you have all your receptors kind of tapped into all sorts of information. But for a man, you're not supposed to be thinking feelings or energy or anything like that. So that's the reason why a lot of females usually are extremely sensitive and can pick up great information.
Yeah, like my fiance, she's never wrong about people when she meets them. And she can even take a deck of cards and guess the number.
Yes, exactly. So how do you do that? You see, you're tapping into the frequency of the paper, just like what we did here. You didn't know what was written on a piece of paper, but your consciousness tapped into the information and responded to it. So the possibility, the potential is endless.
It's endless. I've seen her with a whole deck of cards guess like 80% of the suits and the numbers. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's also remote viewing works a little bit this way, where you can see something remotely. You don't have to be there. And so in my movie, actually, I showed how the U.S. government had a program called the Stargate program.
Right, CIA, right?
Yes, exactly, in the 80s. So what happened, actually, it was the Russians that started it. And the Russians were training soldiers to basically expand their psychic abilities and spy remotely on us. And so, of course, the U.S. government, the Pentagon or the DOD, found out that this was happening, and they said, wait a minute, we need to be doing that. And so they started to train soldiers to spy on the Russians. And most of the time, they were 100% accurate as to where the military bases were, where the missiles were, and they were reporting back and avoiding a lot of potential disastrous events.
Yeah, that's way safer than sending a physical spy out to their country. They might get caught. But if you're remote viewing, it's much harder to get caught, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no proof. They can, you could be sitting in your living room and remote viewing. So,
have you done it?
Oh, yeah, I teach it.
Really?
Yes.
I want to learn how to do it.
I teach people in 2 hours they can do it.
That's it?
Yes.
Wow,
yes.
I thought it takes years to master it.
Well, I mean, of course you get better and better and better, more precise. But in 2 hours I could teach you how to remote view.
What?
Yeah.
And you're able to leave your body and go wherever you want?
Well, you don't necessarily leave your body. So there's different techniques. The way the U.S. government teaches it, what they're saying is that your subconscious mind is capable of retrieving information. So you are where you are. You're just dropping your state of consciousness to the theta, basically wavelength, and you're just allowing that information to come to you. You're picking up vibes because of the quantum field that's all around us.
Interesting.
That's the theory behind it. And so as you are tapping into it and relaxing, you start to see images or shapes or colors and you write them down, and that's how you end up with like a diagram or things like that. So that's how they teach it. The way I teach it is you don't go out of body, but you kind of expand your consciousness. Remember earlier I said your consciousness is everywhere. It's omnipresent. It's everywhere. Right now, it's in Russia. The ability is to tap into that part of your consciousness and bring it back accurately with precision. That's the trick.
Got it.
And so the way I teach it is I help you get to a state of clarity and precision, of course, meditative, and then tap into that particular aspect of you that's there and bring it back. So it's slightly different.
Interesting. So it's different from astral projection.
Yes, astral projection, you literally leave your body.
Yeah.
I don't recommend that people do that because I've seen some weird stuff happen, especially when you sleep.
Yeah.
But when you go to sleep, your consciousness leaves your body.
Really?
And I've seen other energies and entities kind of get in there.
Wow.
So you don't want to do that.
Possession?
You can call it that.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard stories of people leaving their body and then there's a demon in the room next to them or something.
Exactly. So you don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's scary. So probably focus on remote viewing first.
Yeah. I mean, of course, some people who are very, very trained, can do it. But just like somebody to go like, ooh, I want to leave my body. And
yeah, it's a little risky.
Yes.
Yeah, because you need to be trained because you could protect your energy, right? Put up a force field.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's cool. Have you experienced telepathy too, like being able to communicate without speaking?
Yes. Actually, my first telepathic experience was when I was 5.
Wow. That's young.
Very young. And and at the age of 5, nobody teaches you telepathy.
Yeah.
So what happened, I was just there. Actually, it was Christmas Eve. I remember very well. And all of a sudden, I sensed this kind of presence, it's like kind of an angel or some kind of, it was very, very bright, white light kind of. And then I got kind of immersed in this energy. And all of a sudden I started to hear things. And I would think things back and they would kind of like, they would hear me. It was kind of, so basically they were saying, notice what your brain is doing right now. And that's how you communicate telepathically. I'll never forget that because I was 5 years old and I heard it and I was like, what's my brain doing? What's my brain doing? Focus that way. And I didn't know what my brain was doing. They were just telling me to focus on what I want. And so they said, if you want to communicate that way or retrieve information that way, focus on that. And say it, I want this. So they were basically teaching me intention.
Wow.
So I did that and I realized that we were kind of communicating and then eventually they disappeared.
That's interesting because normally you need to have a lot of experience with the other person to be able to do it, right?
Exactly. So this tells us that, non-human, I mean, obviously they were non-human. It was some sort of angelic energy of some kind. And, so this tells us that consciousness permeates everything and we merge with other beings actually spontaneously, and this merging allows the transfer of information.
Interesting.
So telepathy is not just a language. Telepathy is codes. It's coded information. What happens is that the person you're communicating with is not actually telling you words, especially for people who channel or who receive information. So it's not like, especially if you're communicating with an alien or something like that, it's not that they speak English or French or Chinese. They are communicating, they're sending to you thought forms. It's a thought form that translates, kind of breaks down into a human language that you understand. That's why spirit can communicate with you, whether you're French or English or Chinese.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's all basically coded information and frequencies. And your human brain understands these codes and then translates it into, oh, they said, hello, I'm from Mars or what have you.
Interesting. That's why aliens can talk to people.
Exactly. So it's a universal language.
Yeah.
Telepathy is a universal language.
Wow. It's like a light language, right? Because I've heard some aliens will show visuals, right?
Exactly. Telepathy is a coded language, universal language. And so, that's why it's universal. Everybody can understand it because these are the codes. And so in one of my movies called Among Us, we had a couple of the kids speak light language. So once again, here we are, and he's speaking whatever, what people think it's tongues or whatever. It was actually kind of cool sounding. And I'm sitting here and I have no idea what he's saying because I don't know what that light language was, from what planet or whatever. So he's going on and talking, and I am sensing the energy. I'm tapping into the frequency of what he's saying. And I'm getting images, like I'm getting, like I saw him younger in some sort of temple. I'm just getting like weird images. So at the end, I said, Zach, what did you say? And he said exactly what I had seen. He said, I was saying that on my planet, I would go to this temple when I was a child, and I don't know what, things like that. So it's pretty mind-blowing. This means that you can literally understand any language if you know how to tap into it through your consciousness.
Whoa. That would save you a lot of time.
Exactly. Rosetta Stone.
Yeah, to learn a language takes years for people.
Yeah, but again, it's not like you're gonna know the language, like what every word means. It's not like that. You're gonna get the general meaning of the thought form. That's how it works.
Yeah, so kind of your intuition plays a role, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm working on training mine because AI is getting so good now that you really need good intuition for the future, I feel like.
So how is it for you with AI?
I just feel like it's getting so advanced where it's hard to recognize if a human is talking on an Instagram video versus AI.
Oh, I see what you mean. You know what? I did an AI online conference a long time ago, and I said this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you train yourself to tap into the consciousness of the person talking on the video. And then you ask the question, is this organic or is this a robot?
Right.
And you kind of recognize the signature, the frequency signature of who's talking to you. And you can find out if it's AI or if it's a real person.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's training.
Yeah, I need to train that. Yeah, I think having good intuition is going to be very important.
Yeah, absolutely.
With AI coming. What's psychokinesis?
Psychokinesis or telekinesis is the ability to move a physical object without physical contact. So I can move the pen that you are holding. It's better if you're not holding it.
Yeah. You can move this?
Well, not right this moment.
Oh, okay. That'd be crazy if you did
that's
that.
It. Yeah. But that's what I mean. So basically, you focus your consciousness on a physical object without any physical contact, and you're able to move it. So we've done multiple experiments like that in the movie Superhuman. And the first thing you do is you kind of put a piece of paper, because you want the object, as you're training yourself, to be very light. You're not going to start, moving a rock. You know? So you start with a small piece of paper, and you basically intend for it to move. And so some people think, oh, it's the electromagnetic from the body that moves it, or the body temperature, or the whatever. So then we put a kind of a big, what do you call, like a bowl, like a big, like a big vase.
Oh, a vase?
Not a vase, like a big, oh my God, like a big bowl.
Okay.
Okay. So for those who think it's the electromagnetic in the body that's moving it, then we put a bowl over it, so there is no temperature or anything like that could affect it, and it can still move. Then we double it. We put 2 bowls, and it can still move. And then we move it to a different room. And so the idea is to look at the correlation, meaning the moment that I'm looking at it and asking it to move, does it move or not? And we have to do it over and over and over. And if we can do it that way, then it's telekinesis.
Wow. And people were making the paper move?
Yes.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I did that in a film. Actually, I did that one time. I was in Los Angeles, and the lab was in San Francisco. No, Oregon, sorry. So let me say that again. Yeah, a telekinesis experiment. I did another experiment. So I was in California, Los Angeles, and the scientist was in Oregon. And so what they've done is they put that piece of paper inside a container. And to prove that there is no temperature change, no electromagnetic change, they put it in a Faraday cage. And so we take, a baseline for a long time, nothing happens. And then exactly at the time that I focus on it, it starts to move. And then when I stop looking at it, it stops to move, and so on and so forth. So when we do that over and over, then you get scientific data.
That's crazy, yeah. Because you see it in the superhero movies of people like using the Force or whatever in Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually works.
It's real.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I got to watch some of your movies.
Superhuman. Watch Superhuman. It's pretty incredible.
Nice.
Yes.
Soul contract. So do you believe everyone here on this planet has a soul contract?
I totally believe that you come in with your own soul contract. It's not random. You don't show up not knowing what you're supposed to do and be. And I think, as we've been talking, your larger consciousness exists everywhere. So if you came from another planet or from another reality or from another universe, it doesn't matter. Your consciousness is already there. And that aspect of you looks at planet Earth and goes, oh, these people down there, they may need a little bit of help. I think I'm going to go down and see what I can do, for example. So you are the one that creates a contract with yourself. Your higher consciousness creates a contract and says, I'm going to go to this planet, incarnate as a male, female, what have you. And I'm going to live about 60 years, 70, what have you, and perform specific tasks. Part of this experience is for me to have the experience of linear energy, basically, through time and space, unfold this experience through time and space. That's the reason why from your larger consciousness, all of a sudden you're teeny tiny contained in a small apparatus that's your physical body, your teeny tiny brain. And that's the reason why we don't remember everything. And so also there's another reason why we don't remember. If we are here to master the human condition, meaning master our fears, we are here to master the fear of poverty, fear of hunger, fear of illness, what have you. You cannot master the fear unless you go through the experience. If you already know ahead of time that you're having this experience just to master it, you're going to master it.
It won't happen. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You won't have a fear because you know, okay, so I'm supposed to be sick for this reason. So you're not going to be afraid. So you're here to master the human condition of limitation, of separation and fear. So you have to go through these fears and these patterns. Once you're in it, the idea is to break free and master it.
Wow.
That's the soul contract. That's why everybody's going through stuff. But the problem is it becomes so overwhelming, too much, and we lose our way.
Wow. So we've had some rough past lives then.
Exactly.
I wonder what the end goal is once we get through it all.
So once you're done, you're done?
Once you master all your fears.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is if you lose your way, obviously you don't accomplish what you're supposed to do. And then you have to come back because you said that to yourself. It's not punishment. It's not like some karmic debt like that. It's just because your consciousness wants to complete what it said it was going to do. So that's why you return until you get it. So the faster we get it, the faster it is.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, once we do master the human condition, there's no need for you to continue to become a human again, to reincarnate over and over. Maybe next time you go off to Mars and try to be a Martian.
I love it.
Or some other planet or some other reality.
Yeah. So do you think humans were the first iteration, or do you think we were animals? Do you think we were like plants before humans?
You don't transfer from plant life to animal life to human.
You don't?
No. That's. I think there's some cultures who believe that. I don't believe that because when I work with people and where they want to understand their lineage, their consciousness lineage,
right.
not like if they where they came from as a human, but which planet they came from, which universe they came from. And so as we are doing this remote viewing regression session sort of thing, so we follow that lineage, and sometimes we go all the way to a certain, planet or galaxy or what have you. I've never, ever encountered people, consciousness, once it is an intelligent life that that incarnates as a human, that kind of converts, from a dog to a human. Yeah, I've never seen that.
Okay, so animals are different soul groups, maybe, right?
Exactly, because they serve a different purpose. Animals are here to support the actual planet itself. So, for example, birds are working with the magnetic field of the planet. They're calibrating the magnetic field of the planet. Dogs or any sort of four-legged animals are working with the pulse and the chemistry of the planet. That's why they have 4 legs on the planet. We only have 2. We receive the information from source, from the universe, from our higher consciousness, through our body, through our feet, into planet Earth. We're grounding it in planet Earth. But we're also receiving the energy from planet Earth and distributing it, sending it back to the universe. That's a human. But the animal is now receiving the information and transferring it back into the earth. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the animals have a completely different purpose. Of course, the fish, each species performs a specific task for the sustenance and repair and the health of the planet they inhabit.
Wow. So each animal has a purpose.
Absolutely.
And plants too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why, as a human, you have a different purpose of receiving energy, distributing energy, communicating with the universe and the planet you're living on.
Fascinating. Do you believe in starseeds?
Of course.
You're one, aren't you?
You are one.
I'm one? I don't know if I'm one.
Well, let's talk about what is starseeds. Starseeds are individuals who come from different star systems, and they have, let's say, a higher percentage of that DNA in them.
Yeah.
So as they are born as human, they keep thinking and feeling and remembering that they came from the stars. And with that is the ability to bring information, bring frequencies, bring knowledge and wisdom from that star system. That's the idea. That's why they're usually very sensitive, very intuitive, very psychic. They know things nobody would know. They remember their incarnation. It's fascinating. But if we can talk about the human DNA, so in one of my films, I interviewed Gary Nolan. He's a geneticist at Stanford University.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, what's with this junk DNA? People talk about junk DNA like it doesn't have any function. Does it mean it's alien DNA, or what is that? And he said, look, we don't call it alien DNA, but let me tell you something. We've studied the human DNA, and we noticed that it goes by what we call Moore's Law. Now, Moore's Law applies to computers and electronic. It's not a DNA thing, but it's a principle. As a principle, they kept going back in time to see how the DNA has evolved.
Yeah.
And they noticed that every 600,000 years, the DNA is half of its complexity. You go back 600 million years, 600,000 years. Again, half of complexity, and so on and so forth. So that's the reason why we say it follows Moore's law, even though it's not an electronic thing. So, but when they did that, they kept going back 600,000 years, over and over and over, and every single time it was doubling in complexity. They got to the first original time where the DNA was actually in existence, so to speak, and that was 9 billion years ago.
Wow.
So planet Earth is how old?
I don't know, actually.
Yeah, they tell us it's what, 5 billion years, planet Earth. So if the human DNA is 9 billion years, so where was it? It must have existed somewhere else.
Interesting.
Somewhere else means on a different star system, different planet. Now, it's obviously speculation, but why is it older than the planet itself?
Right.
So this tells us the human DNA already has some sort of alien origin. So you and I are half alien, or a third alien, or a quarter alien of some kind.
Let's go. I love it. I didn't know that. That's a good way to break it down, though. 9 billion years. Wow. Because they teach us growing up, humans are only like, what, tens of thousands of years old or something?
Exactly. And so what happens is that everybody on this planet has some form of alien DNA. The question is, what's the percentage and what type of alien DNA? Is it 1%, 10%, 50%, 30%, what have you? And what is that DNA? What star system? What part of the universe are you from?
Yeah, people should explore where they're from, right? Their star systems is kind of important.
It's absolutely important because that's how you figure out who you are. And it has to do with your purpose. It has to do why you're here. I mean, the idea, if I know where I'm from and I can tap into that aspect of my being, remember my consciousness is still there. So then I am bringing through this human apparatus, this human brain, that information that is very advanced, that's very evolved.
Yeah.
That's very alien, you see. All these people who have these discoveries, like the Elon Musks and those kind of guys, or even the scientists, who made, major discoveries and stuff like that. Where did they get the information from? You see.
Yeah. So there's stories that they got it from like their dreams sometimes.
Exactly. Well, so the dream, because of course we're not taught in school that, you have an infinite consciousness and you're supposed to bring in, like, who tells you that kind of stuff, right? And so it is not acceptable to be talking about things like that. And so that's the reason why the information will come to you in your dreams, in your meditation, and you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I just had this download. Here's a mathematical equation of da-da-da,
Yeah, I take my dreams super serious these days. As a kid, I used to just write it off as like a dream, but no, there's a lot of meaning in dreams.
Exactly. You download a lot of stuff in your dreams.
Yeah, I'll get messages in my dreams. I'll have spirit animals come in my dreams. I'll have deceased loved ones come in my dreams.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's a lot going on. I think dreams need to be, I wonder how they could study that more though, because you're sleeping, so it's kind of hard to study that.
So, yeah, a friend of mine had this device that you kind of put, it's kind of like an EEG kind of a thing. And you put it around your head, and then as you're dreaming, it transfers the information or converts the information into images.
Wow.
It's super cool. So it's kind of like you're looking at your dreams.
What?
Yeah, it's super cool.
So you could replay your dreams?
Exactly.
That'd be cool.
So that when you wake up, you're like, oh, so I was there and I did that. So, but the way it works, I mean, to be fair, is that you have to input the information first in the software. So, which means, so you'd have, for example, which is still valid. Think about that. Like, let's say the software, you put in a house, you put in a car, you put in a star, you put in cat. I mean, I don't know. You put in all kinds of data, right? But whatever plays out, like why this house versus that car, you know what I mean? So whatever plays out is what your dream was picking up on.
Interesting.
It's super cool.
Yeah, dreams are fascinating. I keep a dream journal.
You have to.
Yeah, you have to. Because I used to not remember them.
Yeah. And to me, dreams are your guidance system. It's part of your guidance system. So there's different types of dreams. If you are worried about something or you have some fears or unresolved issues during the day, so it spills over into your dream. So when you have nightmares or fears
100%
that are unresolved, they're going to show up. So it's for you to process them. But when you wake up, the idea is for you to recognize that that's what it is.
Yep.
And say, I want to resolve these things. Otherwise, you're going to keep repeating the nightmare.
Yeah.
You know?
I used to have nightmares every day as a kid. And I looked up the meaning of the nightmare because I would be running away from something. And then I was running away in real life from a problem. Exactly. So I fixed that. Haven't had the dream since.
Exactly. How did you fix it?
Forget what the exact issue was in real life, but I was basically avoiding conflict. So I think I just addressed it in real life. And then that dream never happened again.
That's beautiful. But what you can also do is intend. So, for example, let's say you figured it out. You figured out that you're running away from a problem. So when you wake up in the morning, you say, I am understanding that I'm running away from a problem and I'm intending for that to be resolved. So that when the problem shows up, you already are programmed to want to resolve it, and it's even faster, it's even better.
Love it.
Yeah.
Caroline, it's been awesome talking to you again. Where can people keep up with you?
Yes.
Find your documentaries?
So first, for this watch, I want everybody to check it out. It's insane. You know, frequency-based technology, superhumanwatch.com.
Perfect.
And for my films, omniummedia.com. And my consciousness work is carolinecory.com.
Beautiful. We'll put it all below. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for coming on again.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. See you guys.